I like talking about. I mean,
Well, yeah. I mean, can't do that.
but you guys are talking about joining cast next year.
I mean, not necessarily. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I just
So
I
all
know
I
that.
know
Yeah.
is John said it would be a good idea, and Christy said we had to.
To do what?
Go to rehearsals.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Well, we had
Yes,
tryouts as well. I thought
I strongly suggest you
Auditions?
guys do that.
auditions.
You have to go through auditions.
Yes.
She
To be on
didn't say
cast,
anything
you have to
about
do.
that. She
Well,
said that we
if
had
they're
to
still
go
going to be on gate crew.
Oh, if they're going for gate
No,
crew, no.
if we do gate, we don't have to do
Yeah,
any
no.
Right.
auditioning or anything like that.
But
Yeah,
no,
that's
going
what
to
I thought.
rehearsals I think would be beneficial because a lot of what we do is what we do in rehearsal. Work on your character, work on the improv, work on different aspects of just talking to people and coming up with a cool story, and you can dive into, you can
But the
flesh
beauty
out a
of
lot
it is that you guys already do that. I mean, you guys take
Yeah.
an affectation on anyway.
yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
it's not like it would be totally and completely alien for you guys.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Yeah.
it would help with what comes to my brain actually coming out of my mouth, because typically what happens is my brain thinks of something really smart, and my mouth goes.
So, funny story is that happens with Rob all the time.
Oh, shut up! You're
But
giving
gen-
away my trade secrets.
But generally, it's not smart. It's just things enter his brain, then it
it
comes
is
out.
eloquently stupid.
Absolutely
There-
is.
there is that to consider.
Yes.
No, I just going through the last experience that we just had. You wear doing what we do. We wear so many different hats, and it's
Right.
kind of hard to say this is the one thing that I want to do.
Oh yeah.
Because that one thing that I want to do, well, on this last trip, that one thing that I wanted to do just
Didn't work.
absolutely not.
Right.
We got there and everything was
Different.
very much so, and very, just different than what we expected.
Yeah.
And so in that, I wasn't having the enjoyment doing that
Sure.
that I do here
Okay.
when we have our local. And so for me, it's hard to know what you want to do until you've been there and actually experienced that. We're new on the traveling thing. We've come to Colorado so many times and been to Scarborough so many times just because that's our home fair. That's where we're from.
Right.
And
Don't include me in that.
Let's
What?
go ahead and
I've never
we're
been
going to
to
switch
Scarborough.
over. Give me a second, guys. So this is episode 7.
It is.
Can you believe that?
No.
I mean, 7.
7 already.
Happy 7. Lucky 7. 7's a good number
Lucky
in China.
Sure, I'll go with that.
I'm just saying, dude.
Well, you say a lot.
Hello, friends. I do say a lot. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't. Hello, friends. I'm Rob,
And I'm Keith.
and we're the Renaissance Rascals.
We are.
This is a great day for us.
Absolutely.
We've got our lovely friends that are joining us from their travels.
Yay!
I've got Katie sitting next to me.
lucky bit.
I've got a big hairy dude sitting next to me.
You lucky bastard.
I know, right?
So today we're going to be talking about the title of the episode is Gatekeepers of Authenticity.
Indeed.
It's pretty cool because I think we've had this conversation several times about how the introduction to our patrons is held by our gate staff.
Absolutely.
And I know I've talked to John about that as well, and I think Katie and I talked about it a couple of times about how it's the handshake.
Yeah.
It is the beginning of it all.
I like to think of it as a transition.
A transition.
Yeah, I've said it before, and I don't know if I've talked to you about it. I know I talked to John, but I said,
Right.
you guys, the front, you guys as front gate crew, set the stage. You're the first people that really they come in contact with.
That's right.
And not so much like in the very beginning, like right after Canon, there's cast members out kind of in the parking lot area, and we mill around and do that. But, after about the 10:30 mark, we all go inside to, start with our days.
Right.
So,
Scotch eggs.
Scotch eggs.
Love Scotch eggs.
And you guys you set the tone, you know. So if you
Right.
are, you know, for lack of a better word, lackadaisical on your job, then it's like, oh, okay, well, they're just here to take
Well,
tickets and
interesting
not really
put it
talk to
that way.
anyone.
It's funny that you say that because I remember in years past, because you know, like we keep on saying, this was my first season. In years past, it was tickets,
Yes.
Right.
tickets, and that was the most interaction. Now, this last year, it was miles different.
We really
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. So the difference was a lot of the higher ups wanted to bring the gate crew and the cast to close that gap because there was a definitive line.
Yes.
Yes.
And so to close the gap, you know, they went through whoever showed up. There was someone that showed up for like the rehearsal process, tried to develop characters, which you guys already had.
Right.
So that was super cool.
Right.
You know, interacting with you guys, which I loved. I was like, this is so cool.
Well, let's back this up real quick. We're just rude hosts.
We are, and I know exactly what you're going to say because we haven't even introduced these people.
No, we haven't. I mean, we said who they are, but you know,
Oh, yeah.
we haven't given them a chance. Please, John, explain to our friends that are listening, you know, what
Who
you
are
do
you?
as far as the festivals are concerned, and if you have a character that you've modeled after or something, give us a little bit of insight on that.
So for me and of course for Katie, we came into it with the idea of being pirates. It's a wonderful little niche group there that you know, we have pirate weekend. There's a themed weekend. Of course, you have Vikings and all the other different clans and stuff like that as well. But for us, pirating was kind of the thing. I've always, I've got, you know.
He's holding up his hand.
Oh,
to the
yeah, you
camera
can't
so
see
you
it.
can't see
There, I
it.
don't know if you can
And
see
now
it
he's
or
trying
not.
to figure
Yeah,
out
the Jack Sparrow
which way
tattoo.
the
Oh, okay,
camera's
he's got a
looking
Jack
at.
Sparrow tattoo.
He's got a Jack Sparrow tattoo.
We were just
So,
making fun of him.
We were.
we were making fun of that guy, and for me, my character was kind of based on a cross between what Jack Sparrow and what Barbossa.
Oh,
Kind
nice.
of a mix between the two. Jack's kind of quick-witted and lackadaisical.
How do you pull that
but
off?
Not.
He's very flamboyant. Very flamboyant.
And so, you know, it was.
Ostentatious.
We based it up.
word. That's a good word.
Ostentatious. And then from there, for me, it was just building out what I you know, my costume, but
Fleshing
based
it out,
on based on my image of that. And of course, my character's name is the Crimson Corsair. So I, like Keith, we dress very similar in colors here.
Red and black.
And,
It's
red
a
and
great
black.
color
Black
combination.
and white. It's the pirate staple.
It's
man.
the pirate
Everybody's
staple.
red, black, and white.
You know,
So
of
so
course.
how long have you guys been in just the Renaissance Fair area? Like,
I've been going to Renaissance festivals like my entire life.
Okay.
So my parents started taking me. I can remember going to the fair.
This is
5,
back in the
6.
day when they were still using horse-drawn carriages to
Yeah.
get to the festival.
Yeah, Sonny. And so I can remember going to Scarborough.
That's a
at-
festival
at-
I want to go to.
yes, that's
it's-
on our top.
It's actually
top
a
to go.
very. It's a wonderful festival. It's great. I have nothing bad to say about it, but of course it's my home festival. Never worked there, so nothing. I don't have any experience.
Well, we should
To
maybe
speak
go as
to
a
that.
group.
We should.
As
We should.
patrons.
Ooh, we should make that a thing.
That could be a thing.
We should.
So,
Because I
now-
know several of our compatriots are down in Houston right now.
Oh, for TRF.
TRF, yeah. Lucinda and
Yeah,
John.
Yep,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Several of them are down there. So-
But let's introduce your better half.
My wife, Katie.
Hello.
Hi. So tell us a little bit about you know, like your role and as far as the festivals are concerned, and do you have a character that you based your persona off of?
Nope.
This is gonna be one of them interviews, kids.
Alrighty. Very succinct. Nope.
Yep, nope. She's
Just
the,
pulled something right out of the air.
Pretty much. I knew that we were going for the pirate theme, and we're pretty big history buffs, but I haven't really gotten into pirate history to know a whole lot. So I was like, what can I do?
Well, it's very simple. It spans about 80 years.
It's not
Western pirates are garbage.
watch yourself.
Coming from the Eastern merchant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just like, how can I kind of incorporate some of my individualness into a character, and also, like, I'm Irish and English, so how can I put some of my ancestry into my character? So.
And Bonnie.
And Bonnie.
Okay.
And that's no, seriously,
Yeah,
that's a really good reference point. If you're Irish, Anne Bonny was a famous Irish pirate.
Yes.
But there's a couple of others. Mary O'Malley is another one.
Right.
There's some really Mary O'Malley's probably the better one in all honesty.
See, we're talking historical figures, and
Yes.
my goofy butt's over here talking about being a Pirates of the Caribbean Disney guy.
Oh, dude, no, you're okay.
You're okay because honestly, a lot of the people that we see around the fair, you can see where their
Right.
costuming choices are influenced from. It's
Definitely.
all Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of
variants.
I was going to say originality.
I wouldn't get to be
I mean,
that
I don't
insulting.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's all kind of based on the same thing, which is it. You know, we talked a little bit in a different episode of
Yep.
where, you know, my character originally started out as a pirate, you know,
Right.
but now I've transitioned to a different character who's part of the nobility, because pirate for me was kind of a dead end kind of thing, just because there were so many people being pirates. For me, being on cast as a pirate was like, all right, I'm just kind of lost in the shuffle, you know. So,
Right.
So I chose a different road.
And in our regard, I think that what made it easy for us is this being our first season working full time with the fairs and traveling, that the gate crew here in Colorado already kind of had a little bit
Right.
of a theme going on with
Yes.
Right.
with Catman, his wife, as
Right.
it were.
With
Yeah.
And
Charles Vane being
Charles Vane.
Yes.
And so we were able, especially just to kind of look and see how everybody went about theirs,
Right.
and base what we built additionally to what we had off
Yeah.
of that.
And then you have your random Templar.
He chooses a different
He went down a different
Theme.
road.
He
Kind of
marches to
everywhere.
a different drum, that one does.
right.
Yes, he does.
Indeed.
Yes.
And so, I mean, for us, it started off simple. We had very basic, just a pair of, pants, a tunic. I think I had a captain's cloak and
A hat.
a hat, and that was kind of how we started. I also had a sword belt,
Okay.
and then, you build from that.
Right.
You go around, especially when you're working at good fairs that have nice vendors and stuff.
Yes.
You're able to go around and look at the difference between the stuff that you got from, let's say, online stores.
Oh, sure.
From
Yep.
overseas.
The qualities.
versus
yeah.
the stuff that people
Yeah.
are actually spending their whole year at home making to come to the shop.
Which it's kind of funny that you say that, because with Yen Shang's robes, everybody, I get the same question all the time. Dude, where do you get them? And there's a couple of sites that I go to,
Sure.
but now I'm getting to the point where I found patterns, and
Make them yourself.
I'm about to, because I can't get the colors, and like I don't know what I'm ordering until like they have a picture and it's in a color, and then it's like you can do it in this color too, and
What
they
is
don't
that color?
but they don't give you a
Right.
swatch or anything, and I'm just
And it's even difficult ordering stuff online when they do show you, because
Right.
what if your monitor is not set to the same,
Yes.
and I order a wine red whatever and it comes out a dark burgundy or a purple looking color
Right.
instead, and it's all just because
Or
So-
you order a specific size and it's 2 sizes too small because
Yes.
I can feel your pain.
I can vouch for
because,
that.
because I order and most of my stuff comes from Asia, and
most of stuff.
Asian sizes, like I'm a medium. No sir, you're not. You're a large.
You're an
and
extra
I'm like,
large,
wait a minute,
yeah.
what? I'm gonna tell Keith I'm a large, and then I tell Keith, and Keith goes, no, you're not. And I'm like, shut up.
No, no.
Wait, they said so on the internet.
They said so. It
said so,
right
man.
there.
You see, I got an email,
Right?
everything. I have
And I
it
even
in
show it
writing.
to him, and he just looks at me and laughs and goes, they're wrong.
Well, for me, I would say that we've probably ordered the last 2 pieces that I'm going to order from anybody. The rest of it we'll be crafting ourselves. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to. It's great to buy stuff. It's great to support vendors. It's great, to be out there in that fashion. But when you're talking about doing it for yourself for work and needing to put together multiple costumes, building it yourself, few $100s.
I mean,
you're buying it from vendors like we did, and
you're talking about building things yourself. I mean, like I took a leather work.
Shameless plug.
No, dude, no, I'm not selling. I'm not selling anything. I've had people that are like, dude, where do I get that wine gourd? And I'm like, dude, if you buy the materials, I'll make it for you. Right. But I'm not at that level where I'm comfortable with somebody going, hey, I'll pay you to do this.
Well, and we've considered actually at one of the festivals opening a stand.
A booth?
Yeah. For some of the stuff that we make and some of our friends.
Absolutely.
That we all know. So
if you get a bunch of people involved, then it's like you've got like your own little mini sweatshop.
And well, and you're not worried about you being the only person providing.
Right.
Your
you're not stressed out because I'll tell you what.
Multiple different producers making stuff.
I was making songbooks, and we were getting ready to ramp it up for Santa Fe. And I was like, dude, these are going to be easy. And then thing after thing after thing started popping up. And then I was under the gun, and I'm like, I don't have time to finish these.
Right.
So when you have a conglomerate, if you will, of people working to outfit that shop, then it just becomes an emporium of craziness.
I agree.
Who knows? Maybe in the near future, it's a Renaissance Rascals booth.
Hey.
Sure, why not?
I'm just looking for a place for us to
bumper stickers.
I mean, we're already doing everything else, so we might as well have a shop.
No, not yet.
We're getting there.
This is it's we didn't take over. It's hostile negotiations.
Yeah.
Right. Negotiations with lightsabers.
Yes. This is how we solve everything in my household.
So we all fall into a neat little category of nerd.
But it's kind of neat though that you guys have traveled from. So you started off in CRF at Colorado, and then working, not
correct.
Okay, and then you guys went off to
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh
was our following fair. That's correct.
I've got pictures that are kind of floating around over here. It's kind of neat because it's pretty much the same front gate, right?
Yes, the same owners for both festivals.
Okay.
It definitely is a smaller venue than Colorado is. But it is still growing. There is still room on one end of the fairgrounds there for people that are interested in becoming vendors and stuff like that.
And I would venture to say more flat.
No.
I would not say that.
Really?
No.
Dude,
we're shocked.
I know, like what?
It's actually
Pittsburgh.
situated in kind of like a valley.
It's kind of a pit. I don't mean a pit in a negative, like, it's a pit. It kind of is a
So like a bowl.
Yeah, I kind of think of a caldera when
Okay.
I think of it. Like when you enter the property, you go up over the top of a hill, and as you crest the hill, you look down into this a wide field.
Yeah.
And it's the parking lot. The whole field as you come over the top of the field is
fairgrounds.
Well, it is. I mean, you can see down to. I have pictures of it here. I can probably forward those to you.
Yeah, so we'll figure out how to get those in there somewhere.
Pop those up. But I've got some video for you guys too.
Right on.
The front gate it's exactly the same. As a matter of fact, one of the guys that was on the grounds crew with us out there at Pittsburgh built the gates at Colorado and at Pittsburgh.
Oh, neat.
So he was actually one of the guys all those years ago that built them. Front gate looks identical. The way that they...
I was going to say, the pictures that we saw were like, wait, that's not Colorado. Something's weird.
Yeah.
We're looking at the people on the parapet.
Yeah, that's what we know. So like, I don't know those people.
It's the wrong parapet.
Right. Who's up there? Why are they up there?
People and why are they in my home?
Yes.
Right.
They're up on the parapet and I don't like it. Not one bit.
Remove them immediately.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes. And so it is a completely different operation
Okay.
there than it is here.
So
Okay.
you're saying
there's-
that the
there's
gate crew
differences.
operates differently.
The gate crew and what the gate crew does
Okay.
at each place.
Okay.
So here in Colorado, we have a gate crew. It's just us.
Right.
We run the front gate. We take the tickets. We welcome our guests. We interact. We're in character just as the cast are. We're all kitted out as you were. You know, everybody's dressed. Everybody's in character. Everybody is providing that ambiance, that
That handshake.
that
yeah.
little
Yeah, yeah.
the hinge. I think
Yeah.
you know you got to think of it as something.
Yeah.
And it's you live this everyday life out here where you're a businessman in your suit and your slacks and your mom at home or a businesswoman working her career, however these things work for your family. But when you get to us, you know, you've spent most of these folks, at least half of them come dressed up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not, you know, definitely not to the extent that some of us have put.
Right,
We've
right.
had years and lots of hours and money, time into art. So, but just to see them come up, they're into it.
They're making the
They're-
effort.
it's not Halloween, but you put on a costume anyway, just to come see us.
Yeah.
You came here. I don't put on a Mickey Mouse costume to go to Disney World or Disneyland.
Dude,
you
we
know what I'm
should.
saying? We should, but we don't. My point is, these people do.
Right.
This is one of those kind of. It's a different type of feel
Right.
because people really get into it.
Yeah, Keith and I
And-
have talked about this before, where it's one of those. We're a theme park, but
We are.
we're an
Yeah.
interactive theme park where
Exactly.
we have the ability to alter the way that people think and what they remember after they leave. Yeah, sure, we don't have roller coasters, but I'll tell you what. Sit there and listen to that dude talk about stuff.
We've got
It's like a roller
swings.
coaster.
We've got
Yeah.
bouncy things.
We have rides.
We have rides. We have animals.
We do.
Yeah, that,
So-
And then we have elephants too.
We,
I've got Keith.
so all different types of
Wait a
animals.
minute.
So we,
Resemble that.
I resemble that comment. The way that we like to think of it, and I'm sure you plan on having Captain on at some point. And when you do, he'll reiterate the same thing. We're that transition when
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
get
very
to
much
the
so.
gate and start talking to us. You're no longer in Colorado. United States.
you're
of
no longer in
America.
Larkspur. Yeah.
You're in
now
Larkspurville. Yeah,
You're
Larkspurshire.
yeah.
Now you're in Larkspurshire.
What did they have it there? It was called
Morelandshire.
Morelandshire.
Morelandshire. Okay.
So that's the name of the Pittsburgh show. And the concept is when you get to us, being in character like that breaks you away from whatever's worrying you behind you no longer. You come through the gate, now you're in,
I'm
you're
always
in the
worried I'm gonna
Renaissance.
Smack some kid with my sword. That's
I
what
love.
Yeah.
I carry a wooden sword just so I can sword fight
Oh
with
no,
the kids.
no! I'm saying by accident because I turned too quickly.
Yeah.
I'm short as it is, and that
They
It's-
scabbard
mind
turning
their-
around and smacking somebody. I'm worried about that.
And so, and again, that's you bringing up the scabbards and weaponry. That's different at each festival too. Like in Colorado, there's a couple of us that's specifically what we do is watch everybody coming through the gate to check for weapons
Right.
and to check for safety.
I mean,
things.
peace knot or
Peace
zip tie or whatever.
zip ties.
Well, I know
whatever
that's
it may be.
been one of the common complaints. People coming in and going, oh, they're front gate missed this, front gate missed that, and I said, you know what, these guys are trying to look at thousands upon thousands of people. Give them a break.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna miss one or two. I mean, they're gonna miss 20. I mean, it's just no one understands the rush of humanity coming
yeah.
through those gates when the cannon goes off. I said,
Yeah.
unless you've stood at the front, which I did my very first year, I wasn't ready, and so the cannon. 'Cause I was always on the other side.
Sure.
So now the cannon goes off, the gates open, this rush of humanity comes to me, and I went,
Help. Yeah.
and I just walked to the side, and I'm like, oh my God. And it took me about 10, 15 minutes to gather myself back together and go, okay, I'm ready for it. Wow, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
You do have to be prepared for that rush.
Yeah, and so I tell people, like I said, give the front gate, they're trying their hardest. They're not going to catch everybody. That's why we have sheriffs.
We do. We have a larger police presence in Colorado than at Pittsburgh. there's a difference in the number of officers and a difference in facilities. Like in Colorado, we have what we call the White House, as you know.
Right.
That's that area for all that happens there.
Yeah, the admin stuff.
Right. Well, in
The
in
first aid and
first
all that.
aid, and
yeah,
police, and
lost and,
everything.
or not lost and found,
Well,
but the
right.
dispatch is what I was trying to say.
And so there you had first aid over in one area. You had, it was kind of spread out a little bit different. I feel that
First
Colorado
aid was a tent instead of a
instead of a building.
a
Right.
Oh,
permanent
okay.
structure.
So it wasn't a permanent structure.
So no air conditioning.
Correct.
Yeah, nice.
But your temperatures over there are a little bit cooler, though.
No,
really?
Absolutely
No. It's still pretty hot and humid out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
It
I
was-
forget about the humidity.
Yeah.
And it's warm out there now. Normally they say the weather breaks
say a
about
lot.
halfway
Okay.
in there, and you get that nice little cold front that comes through, and then the last half of the fair, you get your nice fall
Right.
temperate.
60, 70 degree temperatures.
The weather broke, I think, the weekend after we left.
Oh,
This year, it was just really hot and miserable. We had one cold, rainy weekend, and that absolutely stopped nobody. We actually had working. So in Pittsburgh, we worked in the kitchens. We did the first half of the show. We did front gate with the front gate crew, and then the second half of the show, we worked kitchens and other sundry jobs there on the fairgrounds. The rainy, cold day, I feel like it was our busiest day.
It was.
yeah.
It had to have been. I mean, and these people were out there just dancing in the rain, cold, ice cold rain, and I'm like, isn't
The
there a
amount of white.
Steelers game on?
Yeah, right.
What?
Yeah.
No,
that was
is-
the other surprising thing in the rainy day is how many.
Now, was the gate crew
white.
dressed up in Pittsburgh like you
The-
guys
So
are here?
The gate crew in Pittsburgh. Go ahead.
The gate crew in Pittsburgh is cast.
Oh, really?
The cast runs the gate.
Oh,
They-
interesting.
And they rotate in and out. So
So like what we do at the parapet, but actually
they
down
have that.
below.
They have that going on as well.
Oh.
So they still have their parapet. They also have, like our good friend Gary. They have. So he's one of the acts on stage there, and so they'll have him come up to the front gate and play.
Oh, that's
a
neat.
few songs. They had
The Donegal dogs.
the Donegal Dogs. They would come up and they would do a few songs at the front gate, and
And this
there
is this is throughout the day.
this is throughout the day
Okay.
to bring entertainment to the front.
Now, do they
at
have an
some-
opening gate show like we have here?
Yes.
Yes and no. It's definitely not the same.
Okay.
It does not have the same energy, I would say. But
So-
but it's still. Don't let me.
I'd say that-
don't let me play this as that. No, it's not.
No,
good.
no.
It's not at all. They
what
do
I
a
would say
wonderful
is,
job.
I mean, you have to remember the Pittsburgh Fest didn't start until '94.
And it is, you can tell it's a much smaller festival.
Right,
Like you were
so-
talking about the rush of humanity
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Colorado.
Right.
That doesn't happen in Pittsburgh.
Right, but what I'm saying
they
is
trickle
like-
in all day long,
Oh, okay.
slowly. It doesn't have a mass. There's a crowd of a few hundred.
Not a few
Standing out.
thousand.
And
Okay,
that's
gotcha.
the big difference.
More what I'm
yeah.
saying is apparent, obviously that their gate open is probably more reminiscent of about 10 years ago for Colorado Ren, because 10 years ago it was just basically the
Yeah.
king welcoming everybody and then
Yeah.
fire the cannon and the gates go open, everybody rushes in.
This is more involved in that. They do a lot of the same things that we do here in Colorado. So they will have, for instance, this year the jousting.
Okay.
The nights. They had the Donegal Dogs and the Crack Show out
God, I love
front.
that dude.
I do too. Man, that guy's
Yeah. He's top notch in my book.
super dude. And so they would come out and do their show, and just kind of like in Colorado, they're the
Amp
ones
it up
that
the crowd.
We listen for something behind the gate that
Yeah.
lets us know that it's about to, the cannon's about to go off and everything.
Okay.
They kind of provide that same
Cue.
tone
Yeah.
there,
Okay.
and so. Just like in Colorado, as the gates open, several of the acts and shows will be inside. The Falconeers and all of
And
them.
then what are the hours of the show? Is it the same hours, 10 to 6:30?
10:30.
10:30 to 6:30.
Oh, okay. So they open a half hour later.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So it's a single 8-hour day, and same thing. They do the canon there, just like we do
Right.
here.
Did they have a gate close or a gate sing at the end of the day?
No, they don't do that. So at the
Interesting.
end of the day, a lot of the cast and a lot of the crew will come back and line up along the exit
just
row
to say thank you.
and yes,
Just say-
and
So
they-
kind of like we do, like say goodbye to people.
no,
Well,
on the
'cause
East
there's a
Coast they
small-
take they get a little. We have a lot more fun and are a lot more. What's the
We
word I'm
can
looking for?
heckle.
Crass.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's we're
Okay.
a little more
Right, yeah.
aggressive about our. Please leave. No, we're serious. Go away.
No,
type
you
thing.
don't have to go home, but you
Yeah,
can't stay here.
Stay here. You know, leave. No.
Yeah,
Please,
no,
please
really,
go.
we gotta go.
It was almost fun hanging out with you. Please
Yeah.
leave.
There,
Yeah, that
it's
kind.
more of a.
Because
That's
I know you. I know you and I.
Day.
Yeah,
Did
I know
enjoy
you and I at the
yourself?
Exit
Will you
Gate, we
come
had a lot of
back?
fun.
Yes.
He and I had a lot of fun at the Exit Gate.
Yes, we do. It's a good time. And again, that's to me, that's that we did it coming in and brought you in.
Yeah.
This is the same kind of thing. This is your last.
Your
We're
last
going to be the
hurrah
last
before
people
yeah.
you see as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
You saw us first, yes, and you got to play around inside with all of our wonderful cast and all of our great vendors and rides and everybody that was involved. But now you're walking out my gate.
Yeah.
And now you get to see me again.
Yeah.
And that's, you have to, and if you don't keep that in mind, you're the first and the last person they see.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't give them something good coming in and something good going out, they don't remember you.
Yeah.
Everybody, when you leave any venue, you go to a concert, you go to a football game, you go, name your thing.
Event. Yeah.
Everybody will say, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Have
Thanks
a
for
good
coming.
night.
Have a good
Safe
night."
travels.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to tell you it was good almost seeing you. Now please go away. You know,
Yeah.
ma'am, can you please not?
I think
you know,
I think the headsman has the best bit, man.
he does.
Like the shame thing. It is so hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Because you'll get the little maidens that'll look him dead in the eye, and he'll just go, "I see you,"
and just absolutely no face change. He just holds up that sign.
and he just holds it and points to it. And
Yeah,
it's the most
I
beautiful
love
thing
that.
in the world because it's a last interaction.
These people
and it
are
gets
tired.
them laughing on the way
They've
out.
been walking, especially in Colorado,
Oh,
up
yeah,
and down
yeah.
that hill all day long.
Oh, yeah.
It's hot. There's thousands of people. By the time they've got
I've
two
been walking up and
sleeping
down that hill all
kids
day.
that are missing a shoe,
Well,
and
trudging, really.
Princess has a broken crown and she's upset, and you've got all this going on. They just want to get out the gate, and that all that stress that maybe has
Yeah.
built up for them, you can
Alleviate
break
for just
that
a second,
if
yeah.
you can just get them to laugh.
Yeah.
If you can just get them to smile on the way out and remember that, and a lot of them will heckle back at you. We got
oh,
so
absolutely.
many
Oh, yeah.
people that would
It
give
was
it
great.
right back to us, and it was.
I
The
love
funny
it.
thing about that whole thing is that I would wager to say, I don't have metrics on this. This is just anecdotal evidence. I believe that is what brings people back multiple weekends.
Yes.
I would agree.
The first weekend in Pittsburgh, I was giving out some little trinkets to little girls and boys coming through the gate, and just little key charms. Hey, just so that you know, there are some little fairy doors around the realm. If you can find one, see if you can open it. Just give them something to do.
Or only children that have these special keys can see the doors. You know, something along that line.
Because the grounds crew had gone through
Yes, we
and
did.
actually put little fairy doors.
Oh, I was gonna say, are there
around.
actually doors? Or
Yes,
just
yes,
some
there
of these
are.
poor kids on a
there
wild
are.
goose chase,
No.
like, "Hey, see a door, Mom," and then
Yeah,
they're crying
yeah.
on the way out. Yeah, the fat
Exactly.
guy told me
There
there's a
was-
door.
There was one little girl who I did that for,
Yeah, I
and she couldn't find a door. She came and found me the second day, and she was like, "Hey, I can't find any doors." And I was like, look in this general vicinity. She couldn't find doors the first weekend. She came back the second weekend looking for them.
Nice.
Mom brought her back to,
But that's
to try again.
Just to look
And
for the
that's-
door.
yeah, just
Nice.
the door.
As silly
that's
as
good,
it
though.
sounds, I mean, like I've been going to CRF since 2012, 2013. No, 2013, because Aislinn was wee babe, and just that extra touch gets you to come back for another weekend.
It means a lot.
It does. It really does. And I think it is a very understated thing that the service that our gate crews provide. It is not mentioned enough that yes, you're absolutely correct. You are the separation on the veil of reality to the wonderful weirdness that is the Renaissance Festival. You're also the warden of, hey, glad you had fun. Get out.
That's the other side of the gate. Is there's a lot of fun to be had and a lot of welcoming and everything. And again, greatest part is always making the kids smile. When there's a kid out there crying who's upset, and you can pull a little duck or a bean out of your pouch and go, hey, this is special for you.
Oh, yeah.
And it stops that crying. That's a huge thing. But there's also the security side of things.
Yes.
There is a side to doing that job that sometimes you have to be the bad guy. Oh. And it's rough. Here, not so bad because we have a really good understanding of how we operate that.
Right.
Other places, they operate their front gate differently.
Right.
And will or won't allow or disallow things that we might allow or disallow here. So being flexible with that.
Very vague on purpose.
Yes. Sometimes it's hard to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Myself, and a couple of the other guys were larger folks, and people drink at the festival. People.
No.
Oh, dude, I was one of them.
Yeah.
Last year, I mean, like 2022, I was one of them.
Yeah.
I was a buffoon.
Well, but not to a point that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was a buffoon enough that I got invited to audition. That's how much of a buffoon
That's
I
a
was.
good buffoon. We're talking about the guys.
Yeah, we're talking about the
or
people
ladies
that we
that
don't
get
really
carried
like
away.
to talk about because
Right.
those are the we're going to talk about that in a upcoming episode on the do's and don'ts
Do's
on
and
how to be a
don'ts.
play trained.
I'll just say, as on the front gate side of things, that's the part of the job that you don't really look forward to is when you have to. And in our case, you know when it's serious because that's when we break character. We're no longer. You won't hear us
With the accents.
With the accents anymore. We're no longer
And it's
carrying on and about.
And it's usually a sir.
Yeah.
Maybe with a
things
knife
get
hand
serious.
included or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, were you there? I think I talked to you when we had that one guy that had passed out, and then I asked him to move, and then he moved, but then he fell asleep in front of the ferry shop, propped up against the planter.
Right. That and the one where he wasn't dressed and the young lady was, and
Oh, that
those,
one.
Those are situations that we have to look out for
Yeah.
too, because he was getting upset, but not to any of our people's avail. It was his significant other that was instigating everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then getting mad.
I think I might have gotten. I think Eric and I might have ran into that guy.
Yeah. Well, I know.
Yeah.
I know Keith did. And so those are that's the bad part about it, but that very rarely happens. You've got so many good people.
Right.
And especially coming through the gate, because we'll inspect backpacks. We'll look.
Well, you have to.
You'll look in your carriages.
You have to.
You know, no outside food or beverages. It's printed on the ticket. It says it right there. Please,
Yeah.
or coolers. And they get, and you bring them up to the front, and you have to explain to
It's
them, look,
posted in the parking lot.
Yeah.
we have
Well,
signs.
And the funny thing is that it's really
People
not
don't
funny.
read signs.
It's crappy because it's the we're getting one in on the big man. You know, like because there's this thing on TikTok, Instagram, on all the social medias. It's like, oh, this is how you sneak food into Disneyland, or into this theme park or whatnot. And it's like, guys, there's actually a reason why. And let me, I'm gonna break roll real quick. The reason why is because most of the people that work there are paid off of concessions.
Yeah.
That's correct. That's
Period.
where most of the money's made.
Same thing with your movie theaters. They're paid off of concessions.
Yeah, tickets don't cost much.
Yeah.
No.
Food,
You
drinks,
go
those
to a
are
matinee.
expensive.
Go to a matinee movie for $5.
Yeah.
But you're going to spend $45 there because you need a bucket of popcorn and a Coke.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know,
but don't be a
same
turd.
thing at the fairs. People are, it's so expensive. Well, yeah, but there's a cost to doing business.
Yes.
Correct.
And if they didn't charge those prices, within a couple of years, there wouldn't be a fair.
Or
You know?
you're going to lose acts because
Yeah,
where that
exactly.
money's
That's
coming
where
from.
that money
You're not
comes
able to
from.
Pay them. That's correct.
Yeah. I mean, you won't have, well, you'll have acts, but they won't be the quality of what
You're not
we
gonna get-
have now.
You're not,
We
you're
won't
not
have a
gonna get
crack
jock.
show.
You're not going to get
We won't have a
crack,
jock.
You're not going to get all of those things.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, won't have a Celtic legacy. Won't have a London broil. We'll have, a guy over here, telling jokes. Like,
I'll be
and-
good
and
until
probably-
they do away with the Scotch eggs, and then I'm fighting.
if
somebody.
they get rid of the Scotch
Scotch
eggs,
eggs
then
so
yeah,
much, I just hate
I'm
making
quitting.
you were going to say something.
Yeah.
As far as patrons bringing food in, I can understand there being dietary needs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. There's no issue with that.
But don't tell me your dietary needs includes Doritos
Vodka.
and gummy bears.
This is a real situation
Yeah.
that actually happened.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Somebody tried to tell you that they had to have gummy
Yes,
bears.
you're
and
going to tell
Doritos.
me I can't bring my food in. I had special dietary needs, and I told them no. In this case, yeah, I understand dietary needs, and I understand diabetic and everything
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
But 2 bags of Doritos and a 12-pound bag of gummy bears doesn't. That's not any dietary.
I'm trinket
need.
trading, dude.
Okay, I mean the Doritos I get though.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean I'm on board with the Doritos.
Okay.
So
Well, the owners
Are not.
We're not.
They're not, okay.
Right.
I mean, it's
we,
fair.
we sell stuff like that at the fair. You
I
can,
mean, they-
you can get that kind of
They
thing.
own the place, so
Yeah,
I guess
you know?
we'll go with what they say. But
And you'll find it's real simple. You'll find the ones that you go, hey guys, I know you should just crack that drink open, but we can't allow outside food or drinks into the fair.
Yeah.
And there's more to it than that. I mean, there's health code stuff.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that goes
Yeah.
along with that
Right.
as well. And so, with all that involved, you tell them you get 2 types. The types that are like, okay, can I dump it out? Can I take my container in? They want to clarify. Can I finish my drink? Yes. Can I take it back to my car? Well, of course you can take it back to your car.
Yeah.
And then you have the ones that want to argue.
right.
And I don't mean so much with food and drink. That's not the big one, but especially peacetime, or can I inspect your replica pistol that
Yeah.
you're bringing in that looks really a lot like
Really
a
good?
revolver? Right. I'm doing what I do. I've seen most of the replicas. I know
Yeah.
pretty much
Right.
what's out there and available when it comes to period guns and
Yeah.
period weaponry. So when you have something that stands away from those things that I'm
Mm-hmm.
already typically accustomed to,
Catches your eye.
it catches my eye.
Yeah.
Now, we try to do it the right way. We just want to inspect your weapon. Okay. Oh, and give them the compliment, mate. This is beautiful looking. It's great.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Whatever it takes. The ones that are like, yeah, see here, check it out. These are the good ones. The ones that start the fights about it, they're the ones that typically you find later on in the day, and you end up injured or
Yeah.
are doing something
Right.
that they shouldn't be doing.
So I'm going to back
Yeah.
up real quick to the food thing. Back when I was in the military, obviously we don't make a lot of money, man.
No, we don't.
We don't. So
No, we don't.
what I figured out, because I was a cheap bastard back then, and I'm gonna be honest about it. Pack a cooler, put it in your car, go out. You can come back in.
Yeah.
So, and I've done this at Elitch Gardens. I've done it at Six Flags. I've done it every theme park because, yeah, I get
It's
it.
cheaper to bring your own food and eat
It is.
yourself.
Yeah.
We understand
It
that.
is, and I will, as a responsible parent, as a responsible person, I'm not gonna hassle the guy that's doing his job. I'm just gonna leave it in my car,
And we would tell them,
And-
and that's exactly what we
and,
would tell
and
them.
then
Listen,
I'll come back in.
we're not telling you can't have your food on the property. We're
Yeah.
not telling you can't bring your
Yes.
own food and drinks here.
Yes.
What we're saying is that you cannot bring them inside of the
Yes,
fairgrounds.
that.
And it's people that get upset about it. I think of it like this: what concert or festival do you go to that does
Ever allows that?
allow that?
Thank you.
None.
None.
Yeah.
Thank
Um,
you.
And you're breaking the ambiance, and you're leaving trash.
Trash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're
There's enough people that litter just with the stuff that they get from the fair.
And-
yeah.
Like,
tell
I
me.
would say
Now
the
we're
majority of them
importing.
don't even do it on purpose. They're so. What's the word I want to say?
unaware.
No. They're so much in the festivities of things
Oh, okay.
that their aim does not ring true.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I thought I threw it in the trash can. but it fell short, and then the breeze caught it.
Yeah.
Or, the sun was in my eyes. I don't know.
So,
Yeah. It's like straws. I worked in one of the soda stands, and everybody's like, "Do you have straws? Do you have lids?" No, you're lucky that we give you a blue cup.
Right.
I'm telling you, this right here is the greatest invention.
I didn't bring mine. You got to get yours over there.
It's he's even got a lid on his, but that's just because he's a sipper.
I am a sipper.
That looks like a particular maker's cup that I know.
This was made. I can't remember his company name. Wildwood River Creations.
Don't look. Don't.
No,
point
I'll
it.
dump it
No,
all
because
over.
he'll turn it, dump it on himself.
I will.
Yes.
But yes, it was made by the
By the captain himself.
the gate crew captain.
Yep.
Correct.
Charles Vane.
Yes,
Charles
sir.
Vane. Yes.
So, and him and his wife do such a wonderful job about here, especially about creating that. It's a family environment.
Oh, dude, those guys are amazing.
Everybody at
Oh,
the
yeah.
front gate, we
very
spend time
inclusive.
together. Yes,
It is.
We spend time together. We plan events together, even
Although
in the
I
off
irritated
season.
their daughter.
What's that now?
I irritated their daughter.
Well, everybody. irritates.
Well, no, because I started something and then it just went bonkers. Up top, when you're sitting on the parapet, and she's not a very quiet person, but it's
I love her to death.
it's very unclear. So she was yelling tickets, but down, up top, all I heard was chickens.
Chickens.
And this is how
Yes.
she became the lady of the chickens.
Yes.
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 And so I would yell, anytime she would yell tickets, I would yell down to her, "Where are these chickens?" And she's,
No, I said tickets. Yes, I know. You said chickens. I understand.
We heard
Please,
you calling
friends.
for
I do not
chickens.
see you with chickens. She
And
will
it-
not let you in without chicken.
it was awesome because eventually the half of the gate crew started getting in on the joke
Yeah.
because they were just poking at her. And I drew it back because she was obviously getting annoyed by it.
Right.
And so
I, on the other hand, did not.
This does not surprise me.
that. So then I decided to make light of it, and then I would just, it's the lady of the chicken.
Right.
And she found that kind of humorous and kind of leaned into it. So
And each person that happens, like you come in maybe with an idea of what but everybody else sees something different in you, and that's where nicknames come from.
oh,
you know?
absolutely.
I mean, gosh,
I mean, I have
out of all the
probably-
people that we worked with up in Pittsburgh, I don't think we called anybody by their real name. Maybe 2 people. Everybody else had their little nickname, their little moniker, whatever it was. And
Yeah.
that's it's kind of the way the festival works as well.
Funny thing about nicknames, you don't get to pick yours.
no, not
Generally
usually.
not. No.
Not usually.
So then from Pittsburgh, where do you guys go from there?
Well, we were headed to TRF, but we had some medical and family things going on in our lives that we had to stop and take care of. So we skipped TRF this year.
Okay.
We plan on going back next year, and again, many of our
It was
friends.
98 degrees most of the weekends there. And I
Ew.
was like,
Yeah, it's gross.
Thank you.
I lived.
Ew.
We grew
And
up.
it's humid.
Yeah, well, and Katie and I grew
Actually,
up in
no.
Texas.
At this point, it's not too much. It's not.
Houston at
Houston?
98
Are you
degrees.
kidding?
It's
Really?
swelteringly.
Yeah,
ugly.
dude, you're like, what, 50 miles from a coast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Even
The
in,
port of
even
Houston
in
is
December,
right.
really.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
As
It's
long as
horrible.
the temperature, it's not really about the month. It's more about the environment
Okay, gotcha.
temperature. So as long as it's still above 80 degrees there, it's miserable.
Yeah, see, this is why I keep telling you, Keith, we need to go to Scarborough.
I that is on our top list of to go. No, and the reason I said about the humidity, I have family that's in Austin, and so in the fall the humidity kind of goes away.
it
But
does.
But you're also
But you
inland.
have-
but now we're
Hills.
more inland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you said that, it makes
Yeah.
a lot more sense.
So Austin would probably be the halfway point between the 2 Texas fairs that we go. So TRF being down in Houston, and then up in the north, up in Waxahachie, Texas, is Scarborough.
Right.
And TRF, huge fair. If you want to go experience the Renaissance Festival, get a weekend's pass. Don't buy, and they sell their tickets by the day. That's
Right,
a different
right.
thing there. You have a ticket for a specific day. It's not like here where you can buy a ticket and it's good all season. Just whenever you show up, we'll tear it and
Yeah.
let you in. And so get if you're going to go to TRF, get 2 days. Get yourself a full weekend because it is a big fair. It is the largest in the world for a reason, you know.
I've heard it compared to or called the Epcot of Renaissance.
The Epcot Center of Renaissance Festivals.
I'm sorry, that humidity is just not.
Yeah,
It's not
I don't
worth
know
it,
about- I don't know about all that. I just don't
No.
know about all that, man.
No.
Well,
I
I
play.
Captain.
I play a sea captain.
Rob, embrace the suck, my friend.
It's the different thing. We're not in the military. We don't have to do that anymore.
Look here.
Yes, we do.
Let me explain it to you. All right. I have to slow myself down so that I don't lose him.
Right.
Okay. Going up the hills in Colorado, it sucks when I have to slow down. I'm like, I'm gonna get to the top of this hill. I'm gonna relax, and then I look behind me, and there's Keith trudging along.
It's actually funny now that I'm thinking about it. When you get to Colorado, you come in the gate and you look up
Yeah.
at everything.
It's backwards.
When you go to Pittsburgh, you come out and there's a little flat, like horseshoe shaped right at the top, and you go down into the
bowl.
Well, you know where we have in Colorado Pirates Pub and everything.
Yeah.
That's what's down in the caldera, as it were.
Okay.
The Pirates Pub, and then coming up out of there on the backside, you have the Canterbury Kitchen. So
Okay.
like where the weddings and where all the
Okay, gotcha.
where all
So-
that stuff
so
is. It's back in it.
Where
It's
I'm gonna end
really-
up taking Keith quite often because he's on number 9.
Yeah.
Well, and
yeah.
then
Trying anyway. I'm taking applications. Renaissance
You want to talk about
Rascals
shameless plug?
at gmail.com.
so
At Gmail.
at gmail.com. So, quite the opposite feel. They're only so spread out in Colorado. You can kind of walk. There's not just like a path,
Okay.
Right.
so to speak. They're up top, very wide and open. You can, all the vendors and the shows.
mill
and-
around.
yeah, and once you go down, there's only a couple of access hills that go down.
I was looking at the
So-
map earlier and
Yeah,
I saw that.
They're
We were reading it the wrong way, though. We thought they were going up.
Yeah.
no, those go
So-
down into the caldera, and the Pirates
Oh.
Pub and everything is down in there, along with a lot of great vendors down there. You have to get down in there. That's also where the children's area is.
That's
The
a weird
washing well
spot, man.
winches are down in there.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, we have there. It's a
They have their
really
own little corner.
they have a whole
Nice.
corner.
Well, I
It's
mean, they
really
have the
amazing.
pirate
They have a
ship
pirate
here.
ship here, so.
Correct. And so, it's kind of opposite, but the same at the same time. You have a lot of similar and same vendors
Sure.
that travel to both shows.
A couple of the same performers, the acts.
The-
Oh, yes.
musical act.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Sai,
Yeah.
Sword Swallower,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, who
everything.
just set a world record this
Yes,
last
he
summer.
did.
He did.
Guinness World Record. It
Yes.
was amazing.
Yes.
I hope everybody gets on and gets to see that.
Yeah.
He was there. Crack was there.
Yep, love those guys.
Gary.
Yep.
I don't want to butcher his last name. Siller. He just had a birthday, as a matter of fact, a couple days ago.
Oh, you're such a horrible person. You can't pronounce his name, though.
Yes, I know. A lot of the same folks that you'll see there, of course, the washing well winches, and I'm sure I'm forgetting several that will
Let's see.
ask me
this-
why I didn't remember them.
Who's that?
Renton Toms.
Okay.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
weren't.
okay.
They weren't at
The
CRF.
Chased
Chase
Chase
Treasures.
Chase Treasures.
They were at CRF.
Yes,
Yep.
they were also there.
And I think wasn't the Crimson Pirates supposed to go there as well, or did they go somewhere else? No, they went to what's the one in Michigan?
The one in Michigan.
Yeah,
The one in
Michigan
Michigan.
Renaissance Festival, whatever it is. Anyway,
Michigan Renaissance
it's
Festival.
kind of neat that you guys got to see those guys again.
Right,
You know.
and you get to, and then there's also the new acts, people that you didn't see that were
Right.
at a
Yes.
different festival, and so
Right.
in traveling, you get to see where all these little, everybody kind of gets together, and whoops,
Right.
there we go, how it all connects.
Right.
Well, we work with these guys at this festival, and they work with these folks over at this festival, and so we all, it is, it's a
It's like,
huge
it's like a 6
family.
degrees of separation.
Now,
Really, and it's a huge family of people throughout the entire country that
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
And just because a certain group isn't at one festival doesn't mean they're not doing the same thing somewhere else and
Right.
working just as hard. And I think that's a big thing for us in this industry, period, is just trying to create that ambiance for everybody everywhere you go.
Right.
You want that same feeling, you know? And
So we were talking about something, and we're rolling up on an hour here, and I just want to circle back to what we were talking about earlier. Traveling tips
oh, yes.
for your aspiring Rennies. At one point in time, at some point in time, Keith and I do hope that we will be able to break away from reality and go and visit. I mean, I'm not talking about working, but just like go for a weekend or whatnot.
And I would definitely recommend that first.
Right.
If you're thinking of traveling across the country and taking, literally, I mean, these fairs are 4 to 8 weeks long. What is Texas, 9? I think they have a 9-week festival.
Yes.
You're talking a couple of months of your life that you're going to dedicate to that. Go visit it first.
Oh, yeah,
Go
for sure.
see what you're actually getting yourself involved in. If you want to go work TRF, don't make that your first festival to
Right.
work. You'll never work at a Renaissance festival again just because of how intense
Massive,
it is.
yeah.
It's not a bad festival. I'm not talking
Unless
bad
they're really
about
gonna
TRF.
go about it. Let's just go
I'm not talking bad about that festival in any way, shape, or form. It's an amazing place to go, but it can be extraordinarily overwhelming.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, Keith was just gobsmacked with all those people rushing through the Colorado gate.
Well, even working for the vendors there, I mean, you have to realize that's a 12-hour minimum day.
Whoa.
Because they open at, I believe, 8 a.m. and they stay open until, I think, 8 p.m. because they do a fireworks show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also saw that there's a night that they go further into like 2 o'clock in the morning for like an adult thing.
I don't have any knowledge of that personally.
I just saw. I don't know how much.
Some sort of a party.
Yeah.
Well, and at Pittsburgh and here in Colorado, there is an event that's thrown for all the people that work there and vendors and
Oh
stuff
no, this
like that.
this is
For the
patrons, yeah.
Right. I get
which
you.
as a customer, I'd be like, dude, I'm down, but I know
I have
my
to send
wife
my
would
kid
leave
home?
me.
Yeah. I have to send my son home. I have to send
She'd be
my
like,
kids home.
ah,
Uber
you
the
got a
kid
ride,
home.
right?
Yeah. Uber for the kids and
Right.
So,
Can I set up a tent right outside the gate?
yeah.
That's
And
That's
these-
what I'm saying.
I'm down for
So,
that. I don't
I-
think they'd be able to
I mean,
appreciate
Only
that.
Probably not.
only we could find a place that had RVs.
I wonder where those would be located.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know a guy.
Don't look at me, guys.
I think I know a guy.
I might know a
Don't
guy.
look at me.
No, there's that one guy
That
that
one
does the
guy.
RVs.
Um,
Yeah.
Sure, there's a bunch of those.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he dresses up as a merchant.
Yeah.
He would have to. Jackasses.
I would say visit the festivals, or at least get online and do some research about
Sure.
them. Watch a couple of videos. There's very few Renaissance festivals that are established festivals that don't have some videos. Don't have somebody that's gone in and go, "Hey, our weekend at
That's
the
St.
Colorado."
Ingrid.
Well,
for
I think a kind of misconception of some people that I've talked to that tried to do, the Rennie life, is they go, okay, we're going to do the festival on the weekends. Okay. And then what are you going to do during the week?
Right.
Because that's only 2 days.
Right.
So you've got 5 more days. You're not getting paid. And I don't think they wait until they get there to try to find a job.
a lot of them do.
And then by that time, all the jobs are already taken.
Week
You
work
know,
is
so-
something that you need to try to, if you're planning on going and making the Renaissance Festival your life. That's what you are going to do. This is your job.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that you're planning ahead, because you can't just show up to a festival and expect there to be work for you.
Right.
You need to be getting on social medias and arriving at festival. If you don't have a job at a festival, maybe it's good to go as a patron and show yourself around a little bit. Wear your garb.
Yeah.
Be your character. Go into the shops. Talk to the shop owners and other sundry folks that you
Sure,
meet,
sure.
and find a way to establish yourself that way. Because if you just show up and you're expecting to get paid that way, it's very hard. Most of these vendors have good teams,
Yeah.
or they spend months ahead of time building.
Yeah, because
people to
you're
be
always
there.
going to run, kind of like we were talking about earlier, you're going to run into people are, oh, I'm going to do this, and then after the first week or two,
They get burnt.
they bail out.
That
So
happens.
that's gonna create an opening, but
For sure.
you should probably have something in place for those 2
Now, see,
weeks, and then go, hey, give me a call if something happens. I'd love to work for you.
Exactly.
But you've got to have something in place already, because
A lot of folks think
you're
going
gonna
to
be
just
hungry.
fun and games.
And if you plan on working only the weekends, you better be already independently wealthy.
Oh, absolutely.
Which
Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
going to make money.
That
It's not
actually brings me to a great thing that gig working, freelancing, doing, editing and all that stuff that you can find online. That's if I were to do it, if I were to go and go headlong into it. First off, I'd have to figure out how I'm going to pay Keith, because he's lazy and he won't find himself a job.
No, and I get hungry pretty
Yeah,
easily.
and I gotta
Me
keep
too.
him fed in Scotch eggs, but
Right.
I would honestly probably set myself up on multiple freelance websites
Yeah.
for editing, photos, video, all that fun stuff, so that during the week I'm handling one project at a time, and then Saturday, Sunday I'm doing my real work, because this other stuff is kind of like
what you're doing to provide yourself your weekend work.
Exactly.
right, and I think that
Or
that
real
would be
jobs.
the way to go if I were to do it. It would have to be some kind of remote work that
Sure.
I can travel with
Sure.
and not have to worry about it.
If you want to keep him in Scotch eggs, I happen to know a couple of chefs that know how to make those.
We might have a couple
Are
of
either of
openings
these
this year.
chefs female and single?
No.
No.
Unfortunately.
I'm trying to
Are they
trade
male
him
and
off.
single?
He's willing to negotiate.
Yeah, I'm
I
not a
don't know.
stickler right now.
Would you like to take him off my hand?
So,
Oh my god, that's awesome.
again, planning ahead. So we have an entire group that we travel with.
Right.
So it would be myself, my wife, my two adult sons also travel with us, and then my brother, his wife, and his son. And so that's one of the things that I do for our group is I'm kind of the coordinator. I'll be
He's
the one
logistics.
logistics. I'll be the one that calls to each of the festivals and talks to the person or persons that we need to speak to
Right.
get everything lined out. But I'm doing that 6 months. But they don't even have job postings yet,
Right.
and that's really, kind of the mentality and the. If you really want to do this, that's how dedicated you have to be. You've got to be thinking, 6 months to a year ahead of time. Where do I want to be?
Right.
How am I going to get there?
Where are you going to stay?
Sleeping arrangement's a big thing. We sold our home and bought a fifth wheel. We bought a big RV. We travel full time though, as you know.
Yeah.
So for us, that's perfect. It's our home on wheels. We have everything we
Now,
want.
does that have enough room for you and your entourage? Or?
It has enough room for me, my wife, and my two sons.
Okay, and then your brother and his family.
They have their own.
They have
separate,
their own.
They have their own separate thing. As a matter of fact, my oldest son is planning on getting his separate thing this year. To
I
travel
might know a
with us.
guy.
I think I know a guy.
I know.
I know a
that,
guy.
that one guy with the RVs.
Oh no, I don't sell them anymore. I'm just in purchasing, guys. I don't.
He
I
just
don't.
purchases them for other people to sell.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
yes, but I might be able to help out with that kind of thing. We'll
Yeah.
talk later on.
Sure.
Now, this is something, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna jump real quick, because that is a big concern when you're talking about living in an RV, because first and foremost, there may or may not be room on the grounds for you.
That is correct. You have to make. This is why I'm saying you need to be 6 months to a year
Yep.
ahead. We got to Pittsburgh this year. That's why we didn't take our RV with us to Pittsburgh. There was no
spot.
amenities for
Yeah.
we could have parked it up on a hill, and I didn't want to just be sitting up on top of a hill, so we didn't bring it. In
It's not
our
quite set up for boondocking just
not
yet.
yeah, I need some solar, but
Yeah,
I know a guy.
yeah. We'll talk. We'll talk. I'll hook you up with the right people.
They, for us, because the owners of the festival came to us and asked us specifically if we would be willing to go,
Yeah.
they provided for us this time housing.
Okay.
We were provided. They have Now, that's not to say they put us up in an Airbnb or a hotel. They had a
Cottage.
something there on the property that was livable. We actually got to stay in the house with the ground staff house, but there are a couple of cottages, a barn that has a couple of rooms, and and as you know from several of the folks here in Colorado, a lot of people stay in their booths. A lot of the vendors and stuff out there, that's the same sort of thing. But I'm going to be 100% real with you. There's a huge camping portion to this Rennie life.
Yes.
If you're going to become a full-time Rennie and you think you're going to travel around and the Renaissance Festival is going to provide you with housing and provide you with travel, you need to take a step back and rethink that.
Right.
Because in our case, working directly for the owner of a couple of these festivals, sometimes that stuff does get provided to you because you are working for them.
Right.
They're not going to provide you with gas money so that you can put gas in your personal van and drive out to be a part of their. That's
their event.
If you are part of the acts, one of the acts or one of that can be negotiated in your contract.
Sure.
That's perfect. But if you're coming out to work, you're going to be at a booth. You're going to be working for the festival directly. Food vendor, whatever the case may be. Don't expect those people to be providing you with transportation costs and with housing.
Right.
So if you do not have something to bring with you, housing-wise, plan on camping. Most of these places do have a fairly
backstage
adequate
area,
camping area.
And if you plan on camping, you better like camping.
Absolutely.
Because that is months of camping.
You're talking about 8 weeks minimum.
And you also have to worry about your food during that time.
That's right.
Exactly.
You provide that for yourself. Coolers and camping grills.
And the weather. So
Yes.
we had a friend that we met at the Pittsburgh show that went to Florida for a couple of weeks.
Oh no.
She's camping. She's tent camping.
Oh no.
And camped
In a
through
tropical
that
storm.
tropical storm. Yeah, she spent 2 days in her tent. And
oh wow.
you need to learn to love that life.
Yeah.
Because the weather's not always sunshine and rainbows, man. There's bad weather. There's high wind days. There's wet days. And you need to make sure if you're going to camp, think about this. You got to bring your food and your cooking with you. You need to bring all your costuming with you. You need to bring regular clothes with you. You need to have everything you need to be comfortable for 8 to 10 weeks sleeping on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's why I bought a cot.
A cot or an air mattress. Because we were inside of a house, we bought a big, comfy air mattress thing.
Yeah.
And it worked out well enough. It was better than sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So,
Sure. I mean, even it wasn't much of a travel that I've done Colorado and Santa Fe, and doing.
I want to do Santa Fe next year.
Please.
It was a blast.
I'll talk about that in a second, but like Colorado, even though I literally am 30, 40 minutes away, I still slept up there on the days that I was going to work.
Sure.
Because I didn't want to have to rush. The first weekend I did it, and I was like, holy crap, I've got to be up at 6:30 in the morning, out the door by 7.
We plan on living on site for Colorado this year as well. We're gonna have the.
I wish I only had to get up at 6:30.
Oh man. Yeah.
Well, no, because I was on the bike.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but my hair, I have to get up at
yeah, me
5:30.
too. Hello.
Yeah. It's so hard to braid his hair.
I know, right? That's why I just
He
wear
can't
a-
talk. He doesn't have a lot left.
That's why I just wear a hat.
And I'm in the process of growing the locks out.
And then when we went down to Santa Fe, now Santa Fe is kind of an interesting one because it's only a weekend.
It's a weekend.
One weekend. That's,
And the
that's
great
like-
thing
so
about
much
that
fun.
is,
Oh, it's great.
It's all out.
Yeah.
It's full
Oh,
tilt.
it's
go.
crazy.
Uh-huh.
We
got
showed
2
up.
days to do this. Let's party.
We
Yeah.
showed up
I'm a big
Friday
fan.
morning. We left here at about 8, right? I think it was 8 o'clock.
Yeah, something like that.
It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. We got there at 11:30, 12 o'clock.
At night.
Noon. Like, so we get there. We show up to the venue to help set up.
Sure.
We spent 3.5 hours there, and then I was like,
Yeah.
we gotta go. I got into work mode. I was like, oh crap, I got meat in a cooler
Right.
that I need to get into cooling right now, and we had rented an Airbnb.
Sure.
And this is, pay attention, kids. This is the way to do it.
This
If
is
you're gonna
the
do
way-
a fun,
This
if
is
you're
the way
gonna
to do it.
a weekend or just like a quick event, don't go to the hotel.
No.
The reason why I say this, and I love hotels as much as the next guy.
And they love you if you're all in garb.
That.
Yeah.
But instead, get a bunch of people together and do an Airbnb.
Yep. Save yourself some money.
If
Some headache.
if you
Yeah.
have somebody that has a big heart that will allow you to pitch in for the Airbnb and then feed you, then that's the way to go. I think I saved our crew that stayed with us. What did we say it was, like $150?
Oh, yeah.
A weekend,
Yeah.
for the whole weekend.
And that's it. To be real, $150 worth of savings, that covers your food and drink at the fair for a day easily.
Yes,
You know
actually,
what I
that
mean?
for the whole weekend is what, because I fed these guys breakfast and dinner.
That's not as big as we are. We're sort of like, little people. I
You
understand.
don't understand how much I eat. So
Do I look like I've missed too many meals to you, my friend?
Right.
so, and the reason why I bring that up is because it is November. Santa Fe doesn't have it again until September of next year.
Mm-hmm.
Who's already got their house situated?
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
We'll talk afterwards about what
Yeah,
we need to get
because
involved.
I'm gonna tell you what, guys. It does make sense to pre-plan.
It does.
It does make sense to make sure that you have an idea of what you're getting into. Now, this is my first year doing festivals, man.
Right.
I've never once thought to myself, I'm going to be a Rennie. I'm going to go travel around and do
And
this.
it wasn't for us either. We had gone to other festivals. We've worked off and on at festivals.
Sure.
Everything from like what was it, the state fair in Texas, we ran a field goal kicking booth
Oh, neat.
for several hours out there. We worked at the car show out there as well. We've done several events, so we're used to the concept of working in a very hectic environment
Yeah.
where you don't know
Fast-paced.
necessarily who
Yeah.
your boss is, but somebody's going to come tell you what to do. Just whenever they show
Or
up,
you
just
hope.
do.
That's the
right.
military, man.
If not,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
if
for
not,
sure.
if not, go set up chairs or
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Right. And so we were already prepared for that. This is one of those deals. For the entire Pittsburgh show, I think we had 7 or 10 guys that did the entire grounds crew. On the weekends, I think there was only 4 guys picking up trash.
Yep.
You
Oh,
know how
wow.
many more people we
Yeah.
have in Colorado.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm just trying to show you how sized down that can be. So there's hundreds of people, thousands of people probably right now going, man, this Rennie life sure does sound good. Man,
Well-
I'm going to travel around and get to play, dress up, and they're not thinking about the financial side of that.
Well,
either.
I-
You're not going to get paid exorbitant amounts of money to be in your costume and be at these things.
It's not
That's
just that. It's also your health care.
Yeah.
Because,
Yes.
because a
provide
lot of these festivals, you're not part of a corporation. You're not
Right.
part of a health plan unless you get into I know that there's a couple of little small pockets that you can get into.
That being said, most of the Renaissance Festival owners, especially the good ones,
Right.
if you working for them or at their festival do encounter some sort of a health problem, you've gotten injured or God, who knows what.
Right.
Who
Something
knows,
happens.
Who knows what could happen with a
You
mug
inhaled better
at
with
the
that battery acid.
you inhale something at the front gate.
Yeah.
So these things happen, and the good owners, the good festivals, the ones that we're talking about, the places that we go and
Yeah.
that we work, they will take care of that. Although
Right.
you don't have insurance, they will come to you privately and say, listen,
I'll take care of you.
here's how you handle
Yeah.
this, and here's what to do to take care of this.
Yeah.
And they will take care of you because they
Right.
they realize, you are working for them.
And I mean, there
nonetheless.
are other. I know that there are certain insurance groups that do target Rennies and circus folk. They're a little
It's pricier.
yes,
Yes,
but-
it's right. And
and it's hard to get a hold of them, from what I understand.
Yeah. Well, because they base it. They look at the lifestyle you're about to lead.
Right, and it's
And
a risk
if-
analysis.
It's a
if-
risk
if
all by
you
itself,
yeah, and
just
if
by
you
the
don't
fact
do
that
it the
you're
right
doing
if you
this.
don't do it the right way, you're either gonna injure yourself, you're gonna make yourself sick.
all of the above.
all the above.
I think Katie said it best. The best way to do this is you need to be independently wealthy.
We are not.
Well, no,
We have friends.
you have to have a lot of forethought.
Right.
There's
Planning.
You can't just go, all right, I'm going to pack up my car and be ready.
Right. If you're not
And,
independently wealthy, that's the key to it. That's what I'm saying. We're not independently wealthy. We're not in a position where we can just go do what we want to do when we want to. Hey,
Yeah.
let's go play at the fair. We work. We work full time.
Right.
We plan ahead. We get to the fair. We already know who our contacts are. We already pretty much know what jobs we're going to be doing
Right.
while we're there. And again, you can't show up to these. Oh, it's a Renaissance festival. It's more than
before.
what you don't understand is that everybody that you're going to work for at that Renaissance festival, this is their life.
Yeah.
This is their major source of income.
Right.
Those shop owners, they don't make money on the sides on the weekdays.
Yeah,
They
no.
make their money on the weekends. In the week, they're providing their inventory and everything else.
Yeah.
Same with the owners. The owners are not making. They're making money hand over fist. Let's be honest, but it's
No.
that's their
Yeah.
their industry. That's
Right.
their business.
Right.
You, as an employee, as somebody that comes up the weekend before and gets a job serving corn dogs or steak on a steak,
Yeah.
you're not You're not going to make a lot of money there. Most of the festivals pay minimum wage. That's what you can afford for,
Yeah.
Right.
and
It's
also
funny.
the quality of the employee that you get.
It's
a lot
funny
of
you
the
say that.
youth that want to come out from high school and think, well, I
Absolutely.
don't have school on the weekends. I can come out here and I'll work
Yeah.
on the weekend when they want to really come out and play.
You
And-
play right into it, man, because like the tiny violinist says, I'm gonna. She's so cute. She says, I'm gonna be part of the cast next year, and I'm gonna make lots of money.
In her eyes,
I said, kid, you're gonna have experiences.
Yeah.
you're gonna learn some
That's
stuff.
that's
next
gonna be
year.
more important. Well, because I mean, dude, we went down to Santa Fe. The kid made $50 over the weekend. For a kid that's 10 years old,
That's a good.
That's
That's a good.
that's
little,
a good chunk of money.
Yeah.
I can buy a lot of ramen with that. And
Right.
that's what we're gonna live off
Who
of.
has
That's what you're going to live off of.
My biggest thing is don't go into this if you don't love this.
Right.
This is not a thing for you to get involved with if you really deep down inside don't really love what you're doing and with the people you're doing it with. You can burn yourself out on any job, right? Even fun jobs can be horrible
No, dude,
nightmares.
by the 8th weekend, everybody was.
We were ready, weren't
I
we?
was done.
I think that's
Down,
all
man.
we talked about on Sunday.
I
wasn't it?
think it was, yeah.
Is it over yet?
Although,
You know,
and then here I come, my idiot self, bouncing down the hill, and I'm like, I just had the coolest interaction, and John's like, I'm ready to go.
Is
Yeah.
it time to leave?
Yeah.
I inhaled
You have
poison
to
last
realize
week.
you're
Well,
not
it's-
there for the money.
It's
No.
You're there for
No,
the experience.
you're there for the experience.
But
Yes.
it's very bittersweet because that Sunday, I'm like, I'm so ready for it to be over. And then
Yeah.
that following weekend, I sit at home and I'm relaxed. And I'm like, I am so glad this is over.
And then he
and
texts
that,
me, I need a Scottish egg.
And then that following weekend, I'm like,
I miss
hey,
all my
Jimmy,
buddies.
can we do one more weekend?
Yeah.
Just open up a beer stand and a food booth. Like, let's just do
Just
something.
for the people that work here.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
miss it so much because it's just like it's a big part of my life,
Yeah.
which is why we started this
And
is to keep
We
that
need a
going.
support group. Rennie's
Right.
Anonymous.
Right.
And I'm
All right.
sure there
My
is.
name is John
I'm sure
and
there
I
is.
am ready.
For
Hi,
the
John.
6 to 8 weeks, you
Yeah.
were inundated with all of that. And then
Absolutely.
Yes.
You take a week off and you're like, oh, this is great. And then the next week you're like,
Yeah,
I had no idea what to do with myself.
I miss
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
which
No.
well, like I said, that's a lot of the reason why we started doing this
Right.
is to keep that
We-
energy
we-
and
we
keep
live the
that-
Renaissance
that-
all
that
year
love,
round this way.
And that's the way we are. Well, we literally live it all year round because we're traveling and going
Yeah.
to different shows and,
Yeah.
and meeting all these new people. And we were just talking about it here a couple days ago. Pittsburgh's been over for a little over a month now, and I'm literally missing the camaraderie and
Sure.
the
Yeah.
interactions that I had
See, there
with
it
the
is.
people that I worked with
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
So again, don't go into this thinking you're going to make money, but boy, are you going to meet some of the greatest people that you'll
Yep.
ever meet.
Yep.
You're going to meet from people that are acts like all of our friend Daniel and all them and
yeah.
the Crack and
Yep.
you know, like all of those guys, they're amazing
Oh, yeah.
people, and you see them all over, and then you meet people that you work with, and they're amazing, and you get to learn about their and you literally, it's a family.
Yes.
You realize really quickly you're not just making friends. This literally has that. This
Yeah.
is more than friendship. You're, and not in any kind of awkward or weird way, but it's
No.
you feel that. And like, I got a call this morning from one of my buddies. He's at TRF. He was trying to pick up a piece that I had made, and you talk to him. You're like, man, I miss you, buddy. You know, and we felt like a family there. I have
Yeah.
some pictures I'll show you guys afterwards of everything in Pittsburgh. But we're still talking to them. They're calling us. Hey, are you guys going to be in Arizona? Are you guys going over here this weekend? Are you guys going to be around there? We'd like to get together. And you'll find that as you travel, you meet more and more people like that. And it's just, it grows. And
It's
then
funny that the way that you
can't-
word that.
You can't get away from it. You miss it. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to work at this festival this year because I had a bad experience last year, and so, or who's it
Yep.
made fun of me, or somebody didn't do the thing that I wanted them to do, or
Yep.
they didn't like the thing that I did.
Yeah.
I'll be 100% honest. I upset a couple people at the Pittsburgh Festival this year on actions, things that we do here at Colorado, they don't do there. And so when you take that and then you go there and you do that and it's considered offensive, you've offended some, and it's not my place to, well, I didn't offend you, I was just doing my job. Yes, I was doing my job, but I understand your position as well.
I'm sorry that you took it that way.
Exactly,
I
I
didn't mean
didn't,
any offense.
and so we removed ourselves from the situation and went on with the festival.
Yeah.
Don't have to do the same thing every time.
Right.
If me being in costume and being in character isn't what is needed, and I'm needed to, the boss of the festival goes, hey, I need somebody to go pick up trash. As a Rennie, you need to be ready to go do that.
Yep.
You need to be able to go, man, I didn't sign up to pick up, I didn't sign up to flip burgers, I didn't sign up to you name it.
Yeah.
I mean, from everything from delivering kegs and bibs of soda to cooking to cleaning up to picking up trash, spreading wood chips.
Yep.
You name it. You might be doing any number of things working at the festival. And
Oh, dude,
if
even-
you go in there with that attitude that
Yeah.
you're above doing a particular job because, well,
Even as a cast member here at CRF, I ended up being the wine and revelry gang.
yeah,
I ended up having to help with the grape stomp on the second day.
absolutely.
Because I missed the Saturday, had to work, then I went in on Sunday, and then they asked me, hey, do you mind stepping in because Flam can't do it because his family's here. I'm like, dude, I'm on it. You know, and it's you put it the best way you could possibly put it. The camaraderie. I was a blubbering idiot. The during Cordial Cup, our closing ceremony, I was a blubbering idiot, dude. I was a mess. I was crying like I was dying.
It's emotional.
And I did my toast and I said, look, you guys don't understand. I found here something that I have missed for the 5 years I've been out of the military.
That's right.
The camaraderie.
Nothing since I've left the military.
Yes.
The Marine Corps has a very tight brotherhood.
Right.
And you leave and you're just like, man, where did all that go? And you try to replace it with other friends. You're like, this guy will hang out with me every day. And, because you're used to spending every single day in
absolutely.
the military with the same people
Absolutely.
doing the same stuff. And you get out and it's hard. And this, man, it brings a lot of that without being military.
And it makes-
Yeah, right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? You
And
get
it
that-
makes sense. That's
Yeah.
the crazy thing for me is that it makes sense.
And I think
know?
one of the most important takeaways is it's a job.
Yes.
When you boil it all down to brass tacks, whether you think you're going to come here and have fun, whether you think you're going to come here and be rich, whether you think you're going to come here and just make friends, whatever you're going to take away a lot of what you bring in, but when you boil it all down to brass tacks, it's still a job.
Yeah.
You still have work to do. There are things that you're responsible for, and you shruck that just because, well, I thought I was coming here to play princess at the you know,
That's what I want
Pony
to see.
Palace.
I want to see John as the princess.
Yeah.
Oh, I do too.
Oh, okay.
For real.
He's
We'll do this.
princess.
We'll do this.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do like.
And to your point of don't expect to go to every single festival and do the same, have the same job. Cultures are different.
Yep.
The society is different all over the country.
Yep, that's right.
You can't, like, to the point of heckling at the gate at CRF and not heckling at the gate at Pittsburgh. It's because
Different rules, different kingdom.
It's social differences.
It's just social differences. People on the East Coast take things differently than people on the West Coast. People in central United States take things different than either one of them, you know? People on a farm in the middle of Kansas look at somebody that works in the city in LA and think, oh my God, you guys are so weird, you know? And each place you go has its own, like I said, culture.
Yeah.
You have your local culture that melds into each Renaissance festival. So a West Coast festival is still going to be West Coast, man. There's still going to be Californians rocking out at the fest, bro. You know, and you're going to get that out there. You're going to go to the East Coast, and Yins is going to come, and you know you get the U's and the Yins and all their East Coast stuff, and they have a different mentality out there of how, you know, you've always heard the East Coast, you know, people in New York are rude, or people in Philadelphia. It's not. It's just their culture. They're not being rude. It's just the way that they are. It's normal there. Everybody is like that. Everybody does the same. And you can really offend somebody on the East Coast by saying one thing that somebody on the West Coast will find funny. Same flip-flop. I'm using coasts so it doesn't
It makes
particular favor for fairs, but you know, you'll say the exact same joke to somebody on the West Coast, and they'll be like, "What you talking about, bro?" You know, and you'll say something to a guy on the East Coast, and he'll laugh. He'll think that's funny. Completely opposite for a different comment, you know. So you have to learn to feel that out real quick as well. You've got to learn real fast, or else.
Well, hey guys, I do appreciate you taking time out of your day to come and hang out with us.
Oh man, it's great.
And let our audience members know about, you know, all of this fun stuff that you guys are doing and the challenges, because that's rough. I mean, just when you take all of that in, it's kind of brutal.
Can be.
But it's good to know that, you know, hey, one, if you do decide to take it on, there's always somebody there that's going to help guide you and mentor you. That's the important part for me, you know. Then second, sure, it's not always fun, but damn it, we do it because we love it.
And we do. We just can't get away from that.
I tell you, the thing I miss the most in Pittsburgh, besides you guys, is my dog.
But I thought you brought him with you.
My fur baby. Not my.
Have you seen him? I mean, look.
He is kind of furry. I mean,
he's a bit fuzzy.
This might be your competition for Wookiee the Viking.
Yeah. You have to wear a mankini.
It's a scale mail mankini.
Banana hammock.
No. It's a scale mail.
Scale mail mankini.
Ooh.
And you get to wear fur.
Fancy.
Does it shine in the sun?
Oh yeah.
It glints and glimmers.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
Well, thanks again, guys, for joining us.
Absolutely.
And once again, thank you all out there for listening to us and making us so great. Make sure you share us, because, you know, sometimes it's fun to have new people subjected to our craziness.
For real.
Once again, my name is Rob.
I'm Keith.
And we are the Renaissance Rascals. We'll look forward to seeing you guys the next time. I think the next time we're going to be talking about something a little bit more along the lines of a circular, round, ovular type of object.
Yes.
Of a fried variety.
Could be a Scotch egg.
That may have been invented in the 14th to 15th century
By a merchant.
Because, you know, peasants couldn't afford the ingredients, and nobles would not, because it's completely beneath them.
No.
That's why it's got to be a merchant.
You know, I heard from a German prince once that it was the 14th century.
Okay.
And it was a merchant.
Well, pay no attention to the Swedish princess that thinks otherwise.
You know,
Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye, friends.
Bye.